algorithmic architects, the unseen influence. We live in an age where our reality is curated by algorithmic architects. These are the invisible engineers behind the social media feeds, search engines, and news aggregators that dictate what we see, what we read, and, ultimately, what we believe. These algorithms are not neutral tools. They are sophisticated prediction engines designed with a single goal: to keep you engaged. To achieve this, the algorithm must understand you better than you understand yourself. It tracks your every hover, your every click, the speed at which you scroll past a photo, and the exact moment you pause on a headline. It builds a digital twin of your personality, mapping your fears, your desires, and your vulnerabilities. Once it has your map, it begins to shape your world. This leads us into filter bubbles. Conceptually introduced by Eli Pariser, the filter bubble is a personal, unique universe of information that you live in online. Because the algorithm wants to show you what you like, it stops showing you what you disagree with. Slowly, the walls of your echo chamber begin to close in. You are surrounded by voices that mirror your own, reinforcing your existing beliefs and shielding you from the complexity of the real world. This isn't just about politics, it's about the fundamental way our brains process reality. The algorithms exploit deep-seated psychological principles. Confirmation bias. We are naturally drawn to information that confirms what we already think. The algorithm feeds this hunger, making us feel more right and more polarized every day. Social proof. We look to others to determine correct behavior. When the algorithm shows us thousands of likes on a controversial opinion, it creates a false sense of consensus, nudging our own beliefs to align with the perceived majority. Gamification of engagement. Every notification, every red dot, and every streak is a hit of dopamine. We aren't just consuming content, we are playing a game where the prize is a temporary feeling of social belonging, designed to keep us trapped in the loop.
The attention economy. Your mind for their data. In the industrial age, the most valuable commodities were oil and gold. In the digital age, the most valuable commodity is your attention. We are currently living in an attention economy where multi-billion-dollar corporations are locked in a relentless arms race to capture every waking second of your focus. Your attention is the raw material that is harvested, refined, and sold to advertisers. But to keep you providing that material, platforms have turned to addictive design. If you've ever felt the compulsion to check your phone for no reason, you've experienced the slot machine effect. The infinite scroll was designed specifically to mimic the mechanics of gambling. You pull the lever, scroll down, and you might get a reward, an interesting video, or a like. This variable reward schedule is one of the most powerful psychological hooks known to science. The consequences of this constant engagement are profound. We are witnessing the erosion of deep thought. When your mind is constantly interrupted by pings, buzzes, and the next 15-second clip, your ability to engage in long-form critical analysis begins to wither. We are becoming pancake people, spread wide and thin as we connect with a vast network of information at the touch of a button, but lacking the depth to understand any of it truly. This fragmentation of attention makes us easier to manipulate. A mind that cannot focus is a mind that cannot resist. Reclaiming mental sovereignty. Practical strategies. If the digital realm is the new frontier of mind control, then we must become the masters of our own cognitive borders. Reclaiming your mental sovereignty is not about abandoning technology, but about changing your relationship with it. It requires a transition from passive consumption to mindful participation. The digital detox and information diet. Just as you wouldn't eat junk food for every meal, you shouldn't consume low-quality digital content all day. Start with scheduled breaks, tech-free zones during dinner or an hour before bed. Consider a digital Sabbath where you disconnect entirely for 24 hours once a week. Curate your feed aggressively. Unfollow accounts that trigger mindless outrage and follow those that challenge you to think. The Critical Thinking Toolkit. Fact-checking. Before sharing, spend 30 seconds verifying. Use lateral reading. Open a new tab and see what other sources are saying about the same claim. Recognize manipulative tactics. Beware of outrage porn and rage baiting. If a post makes you feel an immediate, intense surge of anger, it was likely designed to do exactly that. Pause, breathe, analyze the intent behind the content. Turn off the hooks. Go into your settings and turn off non-essential notifications. Change your screen to grayscale to make the colorful icons less stimulating. Take the game out of the device.
Cultivating cognitive resilience, the future of free thought. The battle for our minds is the defining conflict of the 21st century. Cultivating cognitive resilience, the ability to maintain independent thought in the face of systemic influence, is no longer a luxury, it is a survival skill. When we foster cognitive autonomy, we make better decisions for our lives, our families, and our careers. We become less susceptible to the mob mentality that dominates the digital landscape. On a larger scale, the health of our society depends on it. A democracy cannot function if its citizens are trapped in separate, algorithmically generated realities, unable to find common ground or engage in rational debate. If we fail to cultivate this resilience, we risk a future where free will becomes a comforting illusion, a world where our choices are merely the predicted outputs of a system we don't even see. The ghost of MKUltra is a warning. It reminds us that the human mind is fragile, but also that it is incredibly precious. The digital realm can be a tool for unprecedented connection and learning, or it can be the ultimate cage. The choice, for now, is still yours. Don't be a passive witness to your own shaping. Step out of the loop, question the nudge, reclaim your focus. The most revolutionary act you can perform today is to think for yourself.
The ghost of MKUltra, a historical haunting. The year is 1953. Behind the closed doors of clandestine laboratories and psychiatric wards, the Central Intelligence Agency is embarking on one of the most notorious chapters in American history, Project MKUltra. Under the direction of Sidney Gottlieb, the program sought to identify and develop drugs and procedures to be used in interrogations and torture in order to weaken the individual, to force confessions through mind control. They used LSD, sensory deprivation, hypnosis, and isolation. It was a brutal, blunt force attempt to crack the human psyche and rewrite the code of consciousness. When the program was finally exposed in the 1970s, it left a permanent scar on the public imagination. It birthed a legacy of fascination and deep-seated fear. The idea that a shadowy entity could reach inside your mind and pull the strings of your behavior became the ultimate boogeyman. We look back at MKUltra as a relic of a darker, more primitive era, a failed experiment in pharmaceutical tyranny. We tell ourselves that we are safe now, that such overt violations of mental autonomy are a thing of the past. But is genuine mind control truly a relic? Or has it simply evolved? Imagine a form of influence that doesn't require a laboratory or a dose of lysergic acid. Imagine a system of control that is so subtle, so pervasive, and so perfectly tailored to your individual psyche that you don't even realize it's happening. Instead of breaking the door down with force, this new influence enters through the palm of your hand, invited in by a like, a share, or a subscribe.
We have moved from the era of chemical coercion to the era of digital nudging. The ghost of MKUltra hasn't vanished. It has uploaded itself into the wires, evolving into a more insidious, less traceable form that operates not through pain, but through the path of least resistance.